Hi, welcome to Creating the Goods. I'm Wendy. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you found me. If you aren't new, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be making a New Year's t-shirt. And I found this cute little SVG design over at Design Bundles that I'll be putting on it. Now the SVG, it has only one color. And I want to change that SVG into a multicolor SVG design. So I'm going to show you how to do that in Cricut Design Space. Now some of the materials that we will need for this project, of course, is a t-shirt. And I got this cute little V-neck t-shirt over at Michael's. We're also going to be using glitter iron-on in the colors of gold, white, and silver. We're also going to need a Teflon sheet. We're going to use a standard grip mat. And I have this really nice, and I think it's a 16 by 20 heat pad. I'm going to be using my maker. Now, if you have an Air Explorer 2, you can use that as well. Also, I have the original heat press, so I'm going to be using that too. If you find anything interesting in this tutorial today, or you learned something, please leave it in the comment section below. I would love to know. Also, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for future videos. So, without any further ado, let's get started, and I'll meet you in Design Space. Are in Cricut Design Space, and I already went ahead and uploaded the SVG from designbundles.net, and I will leave a link for you in the description box below if you would like to take a look at this SVG for yourself. I also did a video showing you how to download SVGs as well as uploading them here in Cricut Design Space, and I will leave a link up top in this video as well as a link for you in the description box below. Okay, so let's get started. Here's our design. As you can see, it's just one color, and I want to make this into multiple colors. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to click on our design, right-click it, and click on Group. Okay, so now that we're able to work with the individual designs and make different layers as well as different colors. So how I go about doing that is I want to start with our little fireworks here. So I'm going to come over here to the Layers panel, and I'm going to hold down my Control key on my computer, and I'm going to start grouping all the fireworks like so. So now this will be one layer. Okay, once you have all the fireworks grouped together, come down to the bottom and click Attach. Okay, so now that is one layer. I want to change the color, so I'm going to come up here to the top, click on that little black square, and change that to a silver. All right, so now we have one layer finished. Next, I'm going to do my second layer, and I'm going to group all the stars as well as this pretty leopard N. Again, come back over to the Layers panel, hold down that Control key, and start grouping the N as well as all the stars. Okay, once they are completely grouped, come back down to the bottom and click Attach. Okay, I will change the color on them as well. Come back up here to the top, click on that little square, and I'm going to make that a pretty yellow orange, which looks like a gold color. Perfect. Okay, so next, my last layer, I'm going to change and group all of the words New Year together. Come over here to the Layers panel, hold down that Control button once again on your computer, and start grouping all of our New Year words. Okay, again, once that is done, come back down to the bottom again and click Attach. So that is our third layer. So now I'm going to come up again to the top, click on that little black square, and I'm going to change that to a white. Okay, so now we have our design in multiple colors. Now, I don't know about you, but I always have a problem weeding out white glitter iron-on. I can never see the cut lines. Now, I came across a wonderful hack that I want to share with you to make it a lot easier. It is a complete game changer, I promise you. So let me show you how we're going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my last layer, which happens to be New Year. And I'm going to come up here to the top and click Duplicate. So now I have a second layer. What I want to do is, it's also a cut layer, just like the first one, but I don't want this to be a cut layer. So how I change that is, I need to come up here to where it says Line Type. As you can see, it says Cut. Click on that down arrow and click on Draw. So now we have a Draw layer and a Cut layer. So what I need to do is I need to bring over the cut layer, put it on top of our draw layer. I'm going to highlight both layers and I want to center them. So let me come up here to the top where it says Align, click on that, come down to where it says Centered, and now it is centered together. One more step, we need to highlight them again, and I need to click Attach. So come back over here to the right and click Attach. So now we have, if you see over here in the Layers panel, you have one layer that's a draw and the other layer that is a cut. And I'm going to show you how this is going to work for us and be a big game changer later in the video. So let me bring this back over to the rest of our design. Okay, that looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of our layers, come up here to the top and click Group. What this does is it makes it easier for me to move around on the canvas. Now, most of you know that I always like to show you what the end product will look like. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to come over here to the left here where it says Templates, and I'm going to click on that. I am making a V-neck t-shirt, so I'm going to look for that template. Let me scroll down here. And there you are. It's a V-neck t-shirt. So I'm going to click on this. Now, as you can see, it just says up here to the top, these are templates. It's just for reference, and it'll only be saved. It will not be saved with your project. So as you can see, here's the t-shirt. Here's the front. I'm going to move that down a little bit. Here's the front. Here's our V, and this is the back. So if you're ever designing and you want to make something on the back of the t-shirt, you're able to do that. So they give you a front and a back. Now, all these grid lines I don't like to see when I'm trying to design something. So let me show you how to get rid of that. Come up here to where you have the two zeros and you'll see a little blank space. So click on that. And now we have just a basic white background. Okay, so next what I want to do is I need to change the shirt to replicate the type of shirt that I'm using today. So how I go about doing that is I just going to come down here and click on the shirt. That way I'm able to change the type. This says men's and I want to change that to a woman's short sleeve. This says the size is a small. I'm using a medium. Okay, and also my shirt is not white, so I want to change that color to a black. Okay, so there you have it. So let me make our design a little bit bigger so you're able to see that. Okay, so here's our design. Here's our V. You can't really see it that well. And what I need to do now is I need to size my design. And I already went ahead and I measured it. My measurements are going to be 8.5 by 8.5. So how I go about doing that is I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to change the width to 8.5. And it will make the height as well 8.5 too. Okay, so there you have it. 8.5 by 8.5. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to make it. So what we have to do is come over here to the top right, click on Make It. Will take us to the next screen. The very first thing you need to do is you need to put that mirror on. I can't stress that enough. That is the most important thing to do because we are using iron-on. As you can see, here's our fireworks. This is on one mat. Our second mat is the word New Year. Okay, as you can see, it's a draw and a cut. And I'm going to click on Mirror. I do it with all my mats at one time. Okay, and here is our third mat, our third layer with the N as well as the stars. I'm going to click on Mirror. I can't stress this enough. This is the most important thing. Anytime you're dealing with iron-on, you need to mirror. You need to put that mirror on. I have ruined so much material by not doing that. So please, learn by my mistakes. Put that mirror on. Okay, so next what I need to do is come over here and click on Continue. Okay, it is connecting to my machine. I'm using the Maker. Next, it's asking me what materials I'll be using today. If you are using the Air Explorer 2, just turn your smart dial to custom and this page pop right up for you. I'm going to click on Browse All Materials. Come up here to where it says All Categories. Click the down arrow. Click on Iron-On. I am using glitter iron-on, so I will click on that and click Done. It's asking me to make sure that I put my mirror on, which we have already done. Next is our pressure. This is the most important thing. If our pressure is off, it will not cut our design out properly. I can't stress it enough for you to do a test cut. It could be a small circle, it could be a star. And I already went ahead and did a test cut. And I know that my blade is getting a little dull. So what I need to do is I need to add more pressure. So I'm going to click on this down arrow and click on More. Okay, next it's asking me to make sure I have my fine point blade in clamp B, and I do. Okay, so let's get our mats ready for cutting. Okay, I have my green standard mat and I'm going to start with the silver glitter iron-on, and I need to make sure that the shiny side, or the pretty side if you will, that needs to be facing down on the mat. That shiny side is considered the carry sheet. HTV, or iron-on as Cricut calls it, always comes with a carry sheet. Most of the time, I should say. Most of your brands come with a carry sheet. There are a few that do not come with a carry sheet. But this particular time, this one does. So I have to make sure that the shiny side is facing down. So let me go ahead and do that now. Okay, now as you can see, my mat is not as sticky as it used to be. So I need to get some tape and I need to put it down so that way it stays nicely and firmly on our mat. Next, I'm just going to get my briar and I'm going to smooth it out to remove all the air bubbles and also just to make sure that it adheres well to our mat during its cutting time. I think I'm going to put another little piece of tape there. Okay, next I'm just going to load my mat into my Cricut. Many of you know I always like to check my blade to make sure there is no residue on the blade itself, because if there is, my design will not cut out properly on my heat transfer vinyl. Okay, that looks good. Okay, the arrow button is flashing, so I'm going to click on that. The C button now is flashing. I'm going to click on that. Okay, so that's done, so I'm going to just release my mat. I'm just going to remove the tape. And I'm just going to cut off the stuff that we did not use. So let me just get a scissor and do that now. So here's our fireworks design, and I'm just going to put that over to the side for momentarily. And I'm going to get my mat ready with my white glitter. Okay, again, shiny side down, pretty side down. Okay, and our dull side will be up. Now, another reason why the shiny side goes down, because that's the carrier sheet. Like I said before, the carrier sheet does not need to be cut out with your machine. You want to be cutting out the HTV, which is the dull side, or the iron-on, if you will. Okay, so that's what needs to be cut, not the carry sheet. So that's another reason why we always put the shiny side down, because that is the side that has the carry sheet. Okay, so I'm going to prepare my mat for this. Let me show you one more time in Cricut Design Space what we're going to be doing with the white glitter iron-on. Okay, I want to show you here in Cricut Design Space how wonderful Cricut walks you right through the process when you're going to be doing a draw cut. And we're doing that for just the white glitter iron-on. So we already have the base material set, glitter iron-on, and it's it's prompting us to make sure that we have that mirror on, which we do. And of course your blade, and I have that 2 more. And then it says to load your tools. Now in clamp A, we're going to load a pen. It says load a black pen, but you can use any color of your choice. Second, we already have that fine point blade in there, so there's really nothing more we need to do. Going to get our material ready on our mat. Okay, so I prepared my mat, and I just need to put some tape down. Okay, I'm going to use my briar again just to remove any air bubbles and also to make sure that it sticks well to the mat. Okay, so now the machine is prompting us to put a marker in clamp A. And I'm just using Cricut's marker. And this is a 0.4 tip black, which, like I said earlier, you could use any color of your choice. So I'm just going to take off the lid. I'm going to open up clamp A, and I'm going to insert the pen down with the tip facing down, and you're going to hear a click like so. Once you hear that click, just close the clamp and you're ready to go. You already have your fine point blade in clamp B. Again, I'm going to check it to make sure that there is no residue on it. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to close that up. Okay, and then I'm just going to load my mat. Okay. Click on the flashing arrow, and you will see the pen will work first. That's done, so I'm going to release my mat. Now, as you can see, it drew the words and then it went back and cut the words. So now when you go to weed it, you'll know exactly where your words are and you'll be able to weed them right out. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute as well. So I need to get my mat ready for our last color, and that is our gold glitter. So let me cut this off. Remove my tape. I'm also going to come over here and cut a little bit more off. Now the reason I didn't do this for the other two colors, because I really don't need to come in. They're not words, they're just solid designs, and all you have to do is just peel it off, and it's very simple. But because this is more intricate, I needed to do it with this. Okay, so I'm just going to turn my mat over, and I'm just going to roll the mat off of my glitter iron-on. Okay, and I'll just move that over to the side temporarily. So let's go ahead and get our gold glitter iron-on ready. Okay, once again, make sure that shiny side is facing down on your mat. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I put some tape down. Going to burnish it again, make sure the air bubbles are removed, and make sure it just stays well adhered to the mat so it doesn't shift while it is cutting. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and load my mat. Okay. I don't need the pen anymore, so I'm just going to open clamp A, remove that, close that back up. Again, check my blade. The arrow is flashing, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Going to click that C button. Okay, that's done, so I'm going to release my mat. Okay, and I'm just going to remove the tape. And I'm just going to release the glitter iron-on from my mat. So I'm just going to turn it over and move the mat away from my glitter. Okay, before I begin weeding out, I want to get my heat press warmed up, and I need to set it to 330 degrees. So let me turn that on. Set the temperature, 330. Okay, so I'm just going to put that over to the side and let that warm up. Okay, let's start beginning to weed, and I'm going to start with my white glitter iron-on, and I always like to weed on my mat. I always like to put the design closer to me and the other part of the mat furthest from me, so that way I'm not touching the mat. Also, another good hack is to take the protective cover and just put it over on the side of it, so that way if you need to touch, you're touching the protective cover and you're not touching your mat. So I'm just going to start at one corner And I'm just going to pull. Okay, so there you have it. I always like to look to make sure there's nothing left behind. That looks good. Okay, so now as you can see, which is wonderful, now I can see in between the negative on the letters, so that way it makes it easier for me to weed out. What I'm going to use is one of my favorite weeding tools, and I'll list that in the description box below. Okay, it has a nice fine tip on the end of it. So I could just weed out all that negative. I'm just going to turn that around and show you. Now here's one thing that I did think about, and I am working with dark t-shirt, and if you're working with lighter colors, I'd be a little bit afraid because of the color of the marker might come off. So what you can do is you can always take damp, and I say damp cloth, and just wipe off the backing slightly. You don't want to do too much because you don't want to get it really wet. You just want to wipe it off lightly, so that way it will remove the marker from your glitter iron-on. Okay, but I'm not really too worried about it because I am using a dark t-shirt. And there you have it. So I'm going to go ahead and start weeding out the rest of my iron-on. Okay, so I have my design already weeded out, and it looks beautiful. Okay, like so. And I have my heat pad. Okay, Cricut is letting me know it is ready. So I need my t-shirt. Again, I'm using this pretty V-neck one. Now, I already went ahead and pre-washed it. Now, you need to do that. Anytime you are doing any kind of iron-on, you have to make sure that you wash your garment before you put your design on. And the reason being is that the manufacturers who make t-shirts or any kind of material, they put a chemical on it. And the heat transfer does not like that chemical. So we need to wash it out. So once you wash it out, make sure you do not use any kind of fabric softener too, because the heat transfer designs material do not like fabric softener either. Okay, so what you need to do is make sure you wash it, dry it on low temperature, and make sure there is no fabric sheets of any sorts. Okay, so once you have that done, what we need to do is we need to get our material ready. And what we're going to do is we have our heat press here, and it's set to 330 Fahrenheit. And I just need to remove not only the wrinkles, but also the moisture that might be in the shirt. So I'm just going to lightly come over here and just move that over for you, and just lightly remove any moisture for about 5 seconds. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to go 2 fingers down. Now what's nice is usually I will fold this in half so that way I can find the center. But because I am using a V-neck, I already know what the center is. It's right here at the bottom of our V. But I want to come down at least 2 fingers and start my design from here down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with our words. Okay, so about right there, about 2 fingers down, get that down a little bit more. Move that up a little bit on our mat. Get our Teflon sheet. Now it says to 30 seconds and a cool peel, but because I'm doing 3 layers, what I need to do is I need to just lightly press just until my design adheres to my fabric. So I'm just going to lightly push down lightly, and I'm just going to do it for 15 seconds. Okay, remove that, let that cool a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to pull up to one side and just lightly pull away. Like so. Okay, so next what I want to do is my end. Going to put that right about there. Down a little bit. Okay, that looks like it's good. Let's see what this is right here. I'm going to put our Teflon sheet on once again, and I'm only going to do this for a few seconds. Okay. The Teflon sheet, let that cool a little bit. Looks like one little star. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this off. And I'm just going to lightly press this one little side right here. Just for a second or two. There we are, and that looks great. Okay, now our last layer, we're going to do our fireworks. Great. I'm just going to eyeball that, try to get that into position. Okay. I think that looks good. Let me just move this over just a smidge. That's what I like about iron-on. You're able to reposition it. Okay, so let's do that. Move that down. Looks good. Perfect. I think that looks really good. Okay, again with our Teflon sheet. Again, I'm only going to put this on for a few seconds. Let that cool a little bit. absolutely beautiful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come back in and give it just a second or two of heat, not too much. Just come around like so. Okay, that's plenty. I'm going to also turn it over and just do the back for a few seconds as well. I love it. I think it turned out fantastic. What do you think? Leave me a comment in the description box below if you learned anything today. I would love to know. Also, I want to wish each and every one of you a happy and healthy new year. We all deserve it. Bye 2020. Hello 2021. Thank you again for watching. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for future videos, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Again, Happy New Year. I will see you all next week. Bye for now.